So today we are going to talk about these things: optional actions, different types of approval, which was a pending item from our yesterday's session. Then we'll see how to create and configure a correspondence rule. What are the decision rules and how we can skip some process and stages if required, and what are the different automations say that we can use, and what is the concept of a child case. So these are the things that we'll cover today. So let's directly start with the optional actions. So optional actions, like as the name suggests, it will allow user to make additional actions on a case, such as updating address or cancel a case. That means these are not our primary flow. It will be added as an option for you if you want to deviate from your primary flow for making an additional action, which might be relevant at that particular point of time. So I created this example because you are quite familiar with the e-commerce. So for example, when you go to the Amazon and you suppose you added the products, right? You added a cart, then you went to the address, you add the address, and then you go to the payment. Inside the payment, you're waiting for that one-time OTP. Okay. That means, let's say you
Yeah.
are in this. Your OTP screen is this second one. But at that time, you find out that you don't want to buy this. That means you want to cancel it. So what you usually do, you press the back key, or you can click on that cancel, which is below, somewhere you find it the below, right?
Yeah.
So that cancel is an optional action because it is not a primary flow, because primary flow feels like first you have to add a cart, you have to select the address, you have to give the payment, then you have to complete the order. So that's a primary path. But optional action is you have to cancel the order. That is a optional action. I'll give you one more example. When you use any application, suppose you're using in a food ordering app, right? After that, you went to the app, you selected the food items, then you went to the address, but you found out your address is not added. Then what do you usually do? Either you can completely go back to the home screen and then you can go to the your profile, then address, and then add a new address. That is one option. Other option is directly from that address selection, app give you an option, add another address. That means you don't have to go back to the profile and everything again, because you will lose whatever you did till now, your selections, your all the things. So because you are adding another address directly from the middle of the flow, so that is the optional action. Okay, got it
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So suppose if I add this cancel order in this flow, then it doesn't make sense, right? Because then what will happen? Shopping will happen, confirm billing detail, complete order, then it will cancel. It doesn't make sense because after completion, I don't have to cancel it. So I'm
Yeah.
providing cancel order option as an optional action, that if at any point of time customer want to cancel it before completion, then they can cancel it. So this is what the main objective behind this with this example.
Okay.
Now, basically there are two type of optional actions Pega provides us. First is a case-wide action, and second one is a stage-wide action or the stage-only action. So for example, this one, because this is a stage, shopping is a stage, confirm billing detail is a stage, complete order is a stage. And this cancel order you see is coming from confirm billing detail. That means it is linked to a stage. So that's why it is a stage-only action. Because if you start the case and you go to the shopping stage, you will not find this cancel order because it is not linked to shopping. It is linked to confirm billing.
Billing details.
Yes, so once you will come to this confirm billing detail, you will get an extra option that if you want to cancel. I'll open this case type. Okay, so this is our primary case life cycle. This is our happy path. Here you see one option is there. Optional actions. Correct? I'll click on this one. Now, as I showed you just now, that there are two types, case-wide actions and stage-only actions. Now, you see, for now, Pega provides us three types of basic optional actions, mainly the case-wide actions. What is edit detail, change stage, and reopen. So these are the three options that Pega provides us, and these will be available across your case, irrespective of your stage. It doesn't matter whether you are in credit check, whether you are in collect detail or in approval. These things will be available all the time. Let's test it once. I'll save and run. Okay, I think I need to open this in portal, otherwise it will not come. Save and close. User portal. Okay, it's still not showing. Now I added one more thing that I will explain you. Suppose if I click on this date of birth and I select some, let's say, I'll set like this. You see, age is calculated automatically.
Oh, yeah.
So if I change this, let's say I'll make it 14 then. It is again changed. 9 now. So something happened to this flow. Submit button is also not there. Okay. Yes, this one. So if you see this case here, this is the status. And case-wide action, you can access through actions button. You see this action button, right? At the top.
Yeah.
If I click, let's see what are the options are coming. Edit detail, change stage. So this is a portion of this action button menu, which is coming from that case-wide action. Edit detail, change stage. Okay, let's go back to the Dev Studio. I'll switch to the App Studio. Go to case type, insurance, and edit detail and change stage. So both are there. Edit detail, change stage. Now, we have one more, reopen, but it is not coming, right? Let's see why it is not coming. If you see, there is one visible condition. What is the condition? When the work item is resolved, then only this will be visible. So currently our work item is not resolved. So that's why. So once the case is resolved as in when you will complete whole primary flow. When you will complete everything, collect detail, credit check, approval, everything is completed, then only you can say your case is completed. I'll make some change here just to show you. This, I'll resolve the case. Or I'll add one more. Okay. You see this red line, right? Red line. So this red line means this is our last stage. So wherever you configure this, resolve the case. For example, if I click on the stage, you see, I selected resolve the case. And for others, I selected wait for a user action. So this is our automatic step. Now let's See if I get the same option here or not. Okay, it is coming in preview, so it will not come. Yes, you see this time we have 4 stages, correct?
Yeah.
Now I'll go to actions. I'll see I have added detail, change detail. Even I am correcting detail stage, but still both option I can see. Now I'll submit further. Now I am in insurance detail. Click on actions. Yes, both are still available. Now I'll submit. Okay, verify detail. I'll complete everything. Yes, still they are available. Approval, in approval also they will be available. Yes, approved. So it is redetail. Okay, I think it is not linked. We need to link it. So once it is linked, then the reopen will also come, because once we will reach in the result stage, then it will come in the case wide action. Make sense?
Yeah.
Here, the primary part which I'm trying to convey is case wide action will be available during your case life cycle, and stage only actions will be available during stage. For example, let's create one for stage only. I'll go to action. I'll add a collect information step. Configure view. And let's say add one new field. Add res to submit. Submit. Save. So now let's see how it will come. So we have added for the personal detail. So let's see if this time you see one extra is coming, right?
Yeah.
Collect details, local action one. So if I will click, what will happen? It is giving me this address option. If I will enter something and I will submit, I will go back to the same flow and come back again. So what is happening exactly? I came here, this time I'm not canceling it, I'm just adding an address. And once I will submit, I'll go back to this. So this will be available only during collect detail. For example, if I go to credit check, see this is insurance now. Let's see, here it is coming there or not. Yes, it is there because we are still in the collect detail. Now I'll submit further. Now I'm in credit check. Let's see. This time it is not there. Only two are coming. Because that was a stage only action. That's all. All right. So this is all related to our any questions, Francis, before we move further.
No.
You're good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Maybe you can try implementing this thing in your e-commerce website to add the address or to update the address, to add a new contact detail, or if you want to add a new address altogether. Because in the apps, in the e-commerce apps, we can have tons of addresses, right?
Yeah.
So you can add an optional action to update an address or to add an address.
Okay.
Yes. Now, let's talk about the cascading approval. So approval, you see, we are using that approvals steps. Even you are also using in your application. Go to the primary flow. I'll close this one. Life cycle. You see, this is our approval flow. But suppose if the approval needs to happen in a very complex way. For example, let's say you and me both are managers and we both can approve cases. But the thing is, I'll take example of this e-commerce only. If the order that someone is trying to purchase is above $1,000, then I will approve. But if it is above $10,000, then I approve and you also need to approve. That means here the approval is changing as per certain attribute. And here that is the money. As per the money increases, the number of approval increases, right? So how we can configure this kind of approval? So if you click on this approval step, in the right side, you see this three tabs: general, flow, goal, and deadline. Now in general, you can see route to specific user. So for now, it is routing to me. Every time when the case will come to this approval, it will be routed to me for the approval. But you can give work queue and business logic. Now, how it flows? Suppose if approved, then it will continue. Continue as in it will move further. If it is rejected, then it will go to resolve rejected. That means here. Now you see one more option is there. If approved, then change stage. That means you can change the stage. Correct. And if it's rejected, again you have change stage, continue. So these are some other options. Now let's go to Dev Studio. These are the default options. I click on approval flow. Okay, it is still not showing me that option. Okay. Yes. You see one option is there extra. In Dev Studio, you can see approval flow type. Correct? Here you have two
Yes.
options, single level, cascading. But if I go to App Studio, click on approve, you see that option is not there. Correct? So in App Studio, you cannot configure cascading approvals. Now I'll go to Dev. So single level, I'll change it to cascading. Now, cascading again is two types. First is the reporting structure, and second one is a authority matrix. Now, what is a reporting structure mean? So, reporting structure you will understand in this way. When you work for any company, okay, you just give me any company name. Let's say Google, okay. So in
Yeah,
Google,
Google's a good one.
yes. So we have Google. So let's say we have a CEO. CEO maybe have, let's say, 10 more people in, okay, in the tree. Now 10 more people will have 20 more people. So there is a kind of a reporting structure, right? For example,
Yes.
there is a junior developer who reports to a senior developer. Senior developer reports to a technical lead. Technical lead reports to a manager. Manager reports to a senior manager. Senior manager reports to director. Director reports to VP. VP reports to CEO or COO, whoever it is. So it is like it is a kind of a structure that a company is following. Correct?
Yes.
So suppose if the approval is based on that reporting structure, for example, if the customer is asking for a change request, okay, then TL needs to approve. I'm just giving you a requirement. But suppose if the customer want the change request to be addressed in only one day, then TL approval and manager approval both are needed, because the manager is the same name is configured as a reporting manager for the TL. So we will use a reporting structure. Okay.
Okay.
But in authority matrix, we can give our own logic, because It's not certain, right? It is not certain that every time who is there in my reporting structure that only will approve. But suppose if there is a gap, for example, if you are giving first approval and after that CEO is directly giving the second approval, that means there is no reporting in between, correct? Because you don't report to CEO directly. If there is no, reporting structure in between, then we will use a authority matrix. Got it? And I'll show you how this will come. So let's reporting structure.
Okay.
I'll go here. I'll go by operator. Okay, this is a new rule that we will see more in detail after a few sessions. But for now, I'll just give you some details on this part. So basically, this is my operator profile. Okay, like I can configure title, first name, last name, full name, email, everything. The application access. If you see for now, I have access to life care application. Now, if I go to work, you see which organization I was a part of. Test HR board. This is a testing. I can change it. Like I can go to this update and then I can go for cares, organization, division, claims, whatever I can do. Now, you see reports to, correct? Suppose if I give your ID, Francis here. Now, what does this mean? I report to you, correct?
Yeah.
And if I click on this reporting structure, then you see Harsha reports to Francis. So it's a reporting structure. But suppose if you are there, okay, I'll open your ID then now. I will search for your ID here. Now I'll go to your ID and I'll give some ID to you. Let's say administrator. So now you reports to administrator. Now let's see the reporting structure. So this time there are three. I reports to you, you reports to administrator. So it's a reporting structure. So suppose Harsha can only give approval for $1,000 products. Francis can only give approval for $10,000 product. Administrator can give approval for $100,000. That means it is a structure through which approval will flow. But authority matrix says, suppose after Harsha, directly administrator is giving the approval, or there is any other person who is not at all part of this reporting hierarchy. Maybe let's suppose we all are from IT department, we need the approval from the HR department. So definitely HR department won't be there in our reporting structure. So in those situations, we will use the authority matrix, where explicitly we have to give who should approve and when should approve and why should approve. You see, approval based on reporting structure, approval to be completed by reporting manager. That means whoever is configured as reporting manager here, this is the reporting manager, will approve. And we have other option, work group manager, reporting manager, work group manager. Work group manager, you will see this one, team. So there is one team manager, for example, team lead or somebody there, right? So this is the team manager. For example, I will show you one more. Yes. So for example, you have a development team. So you have a manager for that team. So that is a work group manager. But you specifically report to team lead. So team lead is your reporting manager. Work group is your team manager. Make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay. Now, two kinds of approval you can give here. Then approval level. How many approvals are required? Only one. That means anyone can approve all. That means let's suppose if there are three users in the reporting structure, then all three have to give their approval. Then only the case will be moved further. And in custom, you can give yourself. You can give some conditions. Like, for example, I'm giving the age. Okay, age is not allowing here. But I'll just give example. Dot cost is greater than 100. So only go for level 2 or level 1. You can give like, but dot cost is greater than 10,000. Or
Shouldn't we
okay.
use less?
Hmm?
Because if it is greater, even on the second part, okay, let's say. But I
Hmm.
think there's going to be a creep here, though.
No, no, I didn't get. Come again?
Oh, I mean, the logic we're using
Hmm.
might result in privilege escalation or creep.
Huh. I mean, for that only, we have to give conditions. Like, for example, this is greater than 100, right? First one is greater than 100. Second would be, it will go like greater than 101 and
Uh-huh. Less than.
cost less than 1,001.
But I think the first one has to be less than 100.
Huh, correct.
Otherwise, they will be able to approve everything.
Yes. Otherwise, we can also give like this, equal to, right?
But they will be able to approve anything
Yes.
over 100.
Yes, yes, correct. So it will be less than equal to like this you are talking about, right?
Yeah, like that.
Yes. So if it is less than or equal to 100, the level 1 can approve. Greater than 101 or less than 1,001, then two
Level
levels
two.
of is required. So
Okay.
like that we can give.
Yeah.
And if I go for authority matrix, then we have to create this thing. So before I jump onto this one, I want to go for the decision rules. Integration is the rule type. Data model is a rule type. And those rule types we can check here. So these are the different rule types. So one of them is a decision. So decision basically helps us to come to a conclusion by checking multiple logics. So these are the different decision rules that Pega provides us, but we have to only check few. For example, we have to check when rule. We have to check decision table. Let's check this one first. I'll open something. Okay, anyways, I can open this one. Okay, I will update this thing sometime. So suppose how the decision table will work. It will check for something and in response, it will return a value. Okay. For example, if what I can say, if I work for Ian, right? So it was Ian as in English. Okay, these are the language codes. Okay, so let's suppose I'll add one product, Apple, iPhone. Okay, here I'll give 128 GBs. This is one variant. This is another variant. This is another variant. Okay. So now suppose in your inventory, you are maintaining the codes, the iPhone code. For example, for this one, you are maintaining something like AI128. For this one, AI256. AI 512. Now, you see, the name is decision table. That means it will take a decision based on a table. So whenever the product is Apple iPhone and the variant is 128 GBs, it will assign that code AI 128 to the product in the backend. If your phone is Apple iPhone, if the variant is 256, it will assign AI 256. So basically, this is return value, and this is for checking. You can assume this way. Mm, I'll modify this thing. Product. Every time why it is going. Okay. So you see, we have created two new properties, right? One is a product and one is a model. So let me create this case now. I'll show you. Save and run. You see, inside the product, we have an option Apple iPhone. For an end user, we have to show the meaningful terms, right? But in any organization, in the back end, everything is done with coding. So front end, Apple iPhone, I'm showing. Let's say the user selected 256 variant. Now, suppose when user select this thing, company might need the mapping code here. So what they will do? They will create a decision table and configure it. So how it will check? Whenever you select anything and you click on submit, Pega will go to decision table. They will see, okay, which one is true or false. Apple iPhone 128, no, it will come down else if. Apple iPhone 256, true. So this one is true condition. So what it will assign? It will assign AI 256 in the backend. And we can assign this value either to a parameter or to a property. So in the return, we can configure it here. Okay. You got it right, the basic idea of the decision table.
Yes. How probably missed that point. How is it populating under product? How are you able to get, how did you link that?
You mean how can we link this part and the decision table?
Yeah.
Okay, that I'll also show you. For example, but you got the picture, right? What is the decision
Yeah,
table?
I did.
How
I
it will
did. So
come?
this is basically the skill.
Yes, yes. And we have those loops, right? For loop for each. We have some language concepts. If else
Yeah, so
if
this is basically if very similar to try.
yes,
Sorry,
correct.
what's it called? Yeah, try. Right?
Try
Is
and
it?
catch.
Case? Yeah.
Yes, yes, correct, correct. It is same like that. So
Okay.
if I go to approval again, Here you have to give a decision table for metrics. Now, what this kind of decision table you can give is, I'll change this language code to cost. And this one is not required for us, but anyway, let's keep it. So if it is the $100, let's say it will be, I'll give Francis. If it is 1000, let's say ABC user. If it is 10,000, then some other user. So this kind of table we have to create where we are not checking for the reporting structure. I really don't bother about whether ABC your manager or not, or this is your manager or not. It will only check for this condition. If the product is 100 or greater than 100, like this, or like this, anyway you can give, then it will simply give the approval to Francis. If it is $10,000, then it will give approval to ABC. 10,000, then this user. So like this way, we have to create the decision table. Then you have to give a page list property. It is a kind of a property. For example, we will give dot approver that we have to create and the approver name. That's it. This kind of property we will see again in some of the session. This is a pending. For example, I showed you this one. Configure view data model I can show. I'm not sure if you remember this part that I told you. We have these things, these four, the complex properties, which we will discuss later. User reference, data reference, case reference, and embedded data. Okay, so you are good with the approval?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, cool. Let's quickly take a look on the correspondence rule. Okay, before that, let's complete the when rule also. When is very simple. When is a true or false, a Boolean rule basically, where you have to check for certain conditions. For example, when operate, suppose the condition is like in the case, if approver, if the cost is less than $10, approval is not required. Okay, so what we can do? We can create a when rule which says when cost is cost. Okay, let me change the function first. Dot cost is equal to 10. So this will be true. So once this is true, and we can use it anywhere. I can go to case type. I'll show you simple one. So let's say this one, start process. What it says, always. What I can do, I can give when rule. In when rule, I can give any rule name. For example, this one only, px, this rule. And what it will check, if the cost is 10, it will skip it. It will skip this part. This process will not come in the picture then. It will directly jump from collect detail to approval. I can show you this thing in this way. I'll come to credit check. I'll create a when rule, okay? Check, or I'll give like skip credit check. I'll give this rule name. I open it from here. This is the rule name. This is the application. This is my case type class. So it will be case type. This is my application rule set. So it is the same. I'll create an open. I'll go to this advanced tab. Now I'll give when dot age is created is, I'll give greater than equal to 5. Done. When rule is created, I will save it. I will go back to this. I will reselect it once. Yes. And I'll save. So now what it says, basically, if age is greater than 5, then it will skip this process. Now let's try this one then. So I need to give some age. So I'll add data model. So age is 10, which is anyways greater than 5. So if I submit now, you see, okay, I need to complete this one also. Insurance. Okay, it still went to this one. Then I think it is missing somewhere. But usually what will happen? It will not come to this credit. Maybe I haven't saved the case type. Let's save it up. 7 greater than 5. Yes. Submit. No, I think there is some issue. It is not skipping it. But the logic is like this only.
Okay.
So it will check for this when condition. If this is true, it will skip it. So this is what when rule says. Okay. And
Okay.
expression is same thing. Same thing. Instead of whatever we are writing inside this when rule, this we can directly write in the expression. For example, dot age greater than 5, like this. So both are same. Either we can write it as expression form or we can write
Yeah.
it in the rule form. It's just in the rule, you can add multiple conditions if required. You can add more conditions, more conditions, more conditions. But in expression, you have to, very limited space is there you have to write. You
But
have
it's
to,
kind of faster though.
yes. But you have to use, and conditions or condition. You are aware of those and condition or condition, right? In and all
Yeah.
needs to be true, in or some any of them will be true.
All is either you can add those here too, right? So I can do
Yes, yes,
and
yes,
age less than 10, something like
yes,
that.
yes,
Okay.
yes. We can do that. Correct. Usually it should work, but I don't know why it is not skipping it. Yes, it is not skipping it. But majorly this is the functionality behind this.
Okay.
Now let's quickly check the correspondence rule one. So this is the correspondence rule, which is to configure the email process. So if you want to add the new, what you can do, click on step, more, automations. Then we have to look for email, send email, send email, send email. Where is send email? Send email. Click on the send email. Click on the select. So it will add that shape. Inside this shape, we have some configuration, email address. So suppose I'll give dot email because I'm giving this one. Apple always come into this. Dot email. I'll give like,
So at what point do you
hmm,
connect this to your SMTP server or Pega already? Where does this email come from? Are you supposed to set up?
yes, we have to
Uh,
set up. Okay. Okay. You have asked this question, so I'll show you. If I go to this configure, where is process? You see integration,
Yeah.
email,
Email.
email accounts.
Okay.
You can even configure your Gmail account also.
Okay.
So right now, these are the Pega emails. Like they won't work because these are not
Yeah.
properly configured. Even you see connection failures here. This one is default one, no reply. This is SMTP office, SMTP host. But if you want to create something new, you can create like
Create
this.
that. And
You can
okay.
create you can create account ID, who is your account provider, Google, Gmail, Outlook. You can select, I mean, for example, if I select Google, then sender. Okay, I need to give the account ID and all. So
Those
you can
details.
configure it.
Okay.
You
And
can
verify.
configure it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So once this
All
is
right.
configured, your email will send properly. But
Okay.
your configuration will be there only. So subject you can give like test email something. You can try custom message or correspondence. So correspondence I will create. Correspondence I'll give like test correspondence true. And I'll click on this. So test correspondence rule, correspondence type. So we have four types of correspondence: email, fax, mail, and phone message. So right now we are only talking about the email. So I'll set email. This will be our case type class, so we don't have to change it. Again, we will not change in this. Create an open. Okay, so this is the place where we will give our email template. Like, hi Francis, having a good day.
So in this case, are you
Yes,
able to, instead of Francis, to get like dynamic,
yes, yes,
probably the user,
yes,
and
yes.
we,
So what we
okay.
can do is we can take the username. So if you remember, when we create a case, we are showing full name. We are showing first name, right? First name and last name
Yeah.
here. So we can use this thing because this will be dynamic, right? Whenever you create a case, your name will come. If I create a case, my name will come.
Yeah.
So if you see, if I go to the case type again, I go to view, personal details. So first name is the property, last name is the property. I'll go to that correspondence rule here and I'll give like, you see this icon is there in the rule.
What's that?
It says insert rule. And what it says?
Okay.
Insert property. So I click on
Okay.
insert property. You have to give the name property. Like I'll give like dot first name.
Okay.
Format is text. Now when is not required. So I'll save it. So now whatever you give inside your case, it will directly fetch it dynamically.
Okay.
And suppose if you want to call a correspondence rule inside a correspondence rule, then you can call this insert rule, or you want to show a UI directly. I mean, you want to create a very interactive email template. You can create a section also. I'll click on like insert this rule. Let's see what are the rules we have. These are the out of the box only. Maybe either we have to create something, but it will take a lot of time. Logo sample. Okay, logo is not coming. But yes, you can do it. Like we can add some dynamic properties, even phone number, case ID. Case ID we can show using PYID. PYID is a property which will hold a case ID. Case ID is nothing but this 3004. This one, this is a case ID. Clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. Correspondence rule we have checked. Decision we have checked when rule and decision table. Skip processes and stages. We have saw that if it age is greater than 5 or something, we can add it like
Yeah.
this. So automation steps and child cases pending that we will start tomorrow.